Okay, guys, I was waiting a second there to build an audience. Just a little bit of audience. Excuse me. Thank you for those of you on Facebook that are checking in. And thank you for those in YouTube that are checking in. I'm live on both YouTube and Facebook right now. So I hope the camera angles are good, because I've got more than one camera going on at the same time. Today I want to talk about fall weather in your home, okay? That is actually a really big thing because there's a lot of damage that can happen to your home in the late fall and then going right into winter, because winter beats it, especially here in the Ozarks, southwest Missouri area, whether you're southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, between the freezes and the frost and the hot and the cold and the humidity and the hard rain, everything like that. It really takes a toll on the outside of your house. So let's go through a few areas and just briefly kind of talk about, what you should do and check out on your house to help make sure that it's in good condition and to survive the winter, and you're not going to have hundreds of dollars worth of repairs the first of spring. Okay? So that being said, let's start with, critters, because actually that's what I just got done doing earlier today, was critters. I was at one of my customers' homes, and they had some squirrel damage. This actually happened right here in South Ozark. And long story short, where your roof lines meet, you got your fascia board. So let me quickly, on your roof line, you got your roof line, where you get shingles, and then you have your face board that comes down from the roof, that's called your fascia. And then you have the paneling, whether it's aluminum siding or wood, that's called your soffit, okay? So the squirrels, a lot of times, squirrels really are just rats with fuzzy tails, okay? So for those of you out there that think that's really cute, they're really, really destructive little animals, the way they make their homes and the way they get into it. And they will chew in through the corner of your fascia and your soffits, especially if you have like two roof lines that meet in an area. So a couple of ways to avoid squirrels getting into your attic and running around and causing damage, because they did cause damage. Not only did they destroy some fascia and the bottom part of a soffit, which was really hard to repair because of where the roof lines met. Found out that there was an electrical problem too. Figured it was connected to the squirrel issue. Went over there also and checked out the electrical issue, and it looks very much like we're going to have to end up cutting in a wall and pulling some new electrical line on top of everything else. Okay, so we're talking hundreds of dollars worth of damage because of this stupid fluffy-tailed rat, alright? So, keeping your trees trimmed off of the side of your house is one great way to keep them from doing that. That also helps in other areas for siding damage, etc., etc., having plants that aren't growing in the side of your house. Bushes that are overgrown are really, really kind of dangerous. Insect issues with all the leaves that are growing up in the siding. But keeping your trees so that they're not rubbing during storms, so the branches aren't collapsing and damaging your shingles. And then that also gives a perfect way for the squirrels to jump onto your roof or hang from the tree and actually chew into your roof or into your soffit and fascia right off of the tree and then get inside. Alright? So, just doing visual inspections around the outside of your house is really great. That's really going to be one of the easiest things to do, and that's going to actually tie in to a couple of other things that you need to look at for your house during fall weather. So, that being said, make sure your bushes and trees are trimmed away from your house. That will help reduce or completely remove insect and varmint damage, okay? Big thing right there. Then along with that, which is also connected right in here with the trees and your roof, is your gutters. Make sure those gutters get cleared out. This same exact house I'm talking about, they have trees coming over on the back side of the house and on the front side. Okay, on the front side, I had damage to do the siding. I had to replace a couple of trim boards that were just wrought out completely. And this house ain't that old. This house is 10 years old. But the problem is with this house is with the trees hanging over, the gutters clogged up and they were just overflowing over the side of the house. So instead of like catching in the gutter, running down the downspout and out into the yard, it was just overflowing and getting all into the trim boards and the fascia and the soffit. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. So, again, with the trees, keeping them trimmed away from the house, that's another advantage, is you're going to have less leaves landing in the gutters. Now, if you have trees around your house, the leaves are going to get in there, so make sure they get cleared out, and then test them. Make sure your downspouts are working, okay? Meaning, get up there after you've cleaned them out, get your ladder up on the side of the gutter, make sure they're clear, and take a water hose and fill up the gutter. Stick it in one side of the gutter, watch the water run down, and make sure it comes out the downspout. Because your downspout, even if you get your gutter cleared, you can still have a clog right there at your downspout, which is typically one of two places. Generally right there at the top, because it actually comes down and normally does like a double bend, right? So they'll get clogged right there, and sometimes you can just shove your hose in there further and blow it out. Or at the very bottom of the downspout, there's also generally a 90-degree bend also where it goes into your yard. If it's clogged there, sometimes you have to just pop that off. And most of the time, there's two little hex head screws that you can unscrew and it pops right off, or you can shove something underneath there. But that is sheet metal. A lot of times you cut yourself by just shoving your hand up in there. So either wear gloves or use a stick or something. I prefer you not just sticking your bare hand up in there. Alright? Hey guys, thanks for your comments and your thumbs up. I really appreciate that. I see Matt out there, he's watching. I got Tyler's watching, and I think Randy and a few other people were watching. So I appreciate those of you who are watching this. This was not really a scheduled event. I just threw this out here. So fall weather in your house. Let me try to remember, I'm not trying to make this excessively long, but we talked about keeping the bushes and trees cut away from the house. We're talking about also with the trees, the gutters, make sure the gutters are clean and the downspouts are working. Alright, so that's the next biggest thing. And the other thing is the next one of the biggest things is to check your paint and your caulking. Okay, now depending on the siding of your house, some people have all brick homes, but even if you do, your doors are still wood. Okay, so the trimmer on your door, the caulking around the trim of the door and the jamb of the door is still going to be, wood, painted caulking, etc. So make sure that is up. Make sure you don't have big gaps in your caulking, which is easily fixed with some caulking. Touch up the paint and get that sealed up. Now for wood homes, that's a much bigger issue because you have every time, depending if it's lap siding, then you have the trim around all the windows and doors. Now if it's sheet siding, then you're going to have trim boards, every 4 feet in width, connecting all of them together. And you're going to make sure that those are also caulked so that the water's not getting behind the trim boards and rotting out the siding. That's also a big issue with sheet siding, okay? So plants, keep them away from the house, get away with the varmints, gutters cleared, drainage working from your downspouts, and then check for painting, caulking issues, cracks and stuff like that. Those are going to be your biggest areas and your easy areas to inspect and do it yourself on your home, okay? Other than that, I think we'll cut this one here. I don't want to make this really long. It's already feeling like it's excessively long. So guys, thanks again for watching this live presentation. If we start getting some audience built up here, I'll try to do another one in a few days and see how it goes. Maybe I'll start scheduling a time where maybe I'll do this weekly. If you guys want to leave some comments on this and let me know what you think, and think if like a Saturday morning or something like that would be a good time to do a regular scheduled program here that you guys can watch and tune into live. I mean, help me out here. Let me see what works for you guys and see how I can work that out so I can make my show work the best for all you out there watching. And that's it. Thanks again. You guys can always check out my website. I'll have links to a lot of all the stuff that we're talking about with a lot of do-it-yourself tips. GreatWhiteNinja.com. Guys, thanks again.